All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Tracy, you're ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. We seem to be missing a key player,
We are?
the
Yes.
attorney for the petitioner.
Yes, I see that. That is a problem. Okay. Well, I guess, have you spoken with him, Mr. Dixon?
Actually, I've left several messages for him this morning and have not heard back from him directly. I know he's aware of the conference, so I'm assuming he'll get on momentarily because he mentioned the fact that that this conference was going to be heard. So I'm just kind of giving him, again, I can try and call him again. I've called both his cell phone and his office phone and haven't been able to get him.
Oh, I hope he's okay.
But
Well,
I'm pretty sure he.
Oh, you just muted yourself.
I'll take another shot and try and call him right now.
Okay, why don't we just, Tracy, okay, we'll just come back at 11:05 and see where we are, okay?
Sure.
Okay, thanks, everybody. All right, I saw your thumbs up.
Mr. Davidson is on.
Sorry, Your Honor. I was having technical difficulties, so to speak.
Well, it happens. Yeah, I mean, the technology is great in so many ways, unless it doesn't work, which is enough of a percentage of the time that it's a problem.
That's right. Well, Mr. Dixon got me set up, so thank you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you for helping him, Mr. Dixon. I really appreciate it. All right, Tracy, you can still hear me fine and ready to go?
I can hear you and I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started? I don't want to be wasting anybody's time this morning. So let me go ahead and call proceeding number 24D-0074G. This is the petition for a declaratory action filed by Colorado Natural Gas. Could I please have appearances? First for Colorado Natural Gas, which I'm going to be referring to as C&G, just to be clear.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mark Davidson, law firm Fairfield and Woods, appearing on behalf of Colorado Natural Gas.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. And Commission trial staff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Krakis. Along with me is my co-counsel, Jennifer Hayden, on behalf of trial staff.
Thank you, Mr. Krakis. All right. And then for the Office of the Utility Consumer Advocate, the UCA.
Good morning, Your Honor and parties. It's Tom Dixon appearing on behalf of the UCA. utility consumer advocate. And also on our link is Scott England, who is the analyst working on this case for us. So he's observing.
Oh, welcome, Dr. England. Nice to have you. Okay. I called this pre-hearing conference. I'm a little bit behind on this one, as you know, but we want to get this going. And I needed to first have a pre-hearing conference to try and figure out how the parties wish to proceed, I guess is my basic question. There's many ways we could approach this. I didn't know if you wanted to proceed on just briefs, if you needed an oral argument, if you wanted to have a full-blown evidentiary hearing. So I guess, Mr. Davidson, let me hear from you first as to how you envision proceeding in this proceeding.
We'll say at the outset, Your Honor, it's a fairly unique situation that we have. The parties have tentatively reached a settlement agreement, which
that warms my heart, Mr. Davidson.
well, I have to explain a little bit because it's somewhat complicated. So,
okay.
The settlement agreement in basic terms, and I'm sharing this with you, even though the parties haven't signed off yet, but I think we're in pretty good shape based on a conversation I had just before this pre-hearing conference with Mr. Dixon. The settlement agreement will actually be filed in a separate proceeding for an application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity.
Okay. Yeah,
so and I'll just walk through this and then we can have a conversation about it. So we would file a CPCN application accompanied by a settlement agreement among the three parties in this proceeding. In which staff and UCA support the application for the CPCN. And at the same time, the company would withdraw the petition that's pending before you in this proceeding.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's a little bit complicated, because the settlement would accompany the application for the CPCN, and we'd seek to expedite the CPCN proceeding because all the parties are before you here would be an agreement that the application for the CPCN would be granted pursuant to the terms of the settlement agreement. And I understand you haven't seen that yet, but that's the gist of what we have come up with.
I think that sounds very reasonable, and I commend all parties to reaching this. That seems like a very workable solution. I'm trying to think if I have any questions. I guess question one will be, when do you foresee filing this?
It would have been nice to have it finalized and filed today for your consideration, but it's been a sprint to the finish line, as most of these are. And I think we would have something ready and executed by the parties in the next week to 10 days for submission, for filing with the commission, recognizing that we also need to complete the development of the CPCN application. So there may be a little bit longer time frame there to get all the pieces in place, but that's perhaps a tentative schedule that we could consider at this point. And if it runs longer for whatever the reason may be that I can't anticipate at the moment, we would certainly inform you.
Okay, that sounds great. Did you want to outline the terms of the settlement proposal at this time, or you do want to hold off until it's all signed off on?
Well, it's pretty much what I've said. We would seek we would obtain or request approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to build this pipeline to serve the existing customer, increasing the capacity of natural gas to serve that customer so that they have an alternative fuel source for their process. And when we started this back in February, I'd say, we made our legal arguments in the petition suggesting that we didn't need a CPCN, and therefore we're seeking a declaratory order to that effect. In the meantime, we've had ongoing discussions with both staff and UCA about this process, recognizing that there's new commission rules in place, as you identified in your order setting the pre-hearing conference, with respect to certificate proceedings. And so in trying to accommodate all the pieces here, we came up with the idea that I've presented to you today, where the settlement agreement would accompany the CPCN application at the time that we would withdraw the petition for declaratory order. So we'd set that aside and just go forward with the application process and hopefully expediting it, because there is a time element that's important here too, in order to accommodate the customer's potential need for an alternative fuel source.
Right. I understood they needed something done by the end of the year, basically, so that they're in compliance with the clean heat plan, whatever, however you want to phrase it, but to meet their,
Yeah,
energy goals.
they have some alternatives that, as I understand, they have some alternatives that can keep them going in compliance for a little bit longer. So the question is, how long does it take to get this pipe in the ground and operational? And so
Right.
I will say, as you'll see as part of the settlement agreement, to the extent that the service is in place by July of next year, 11 months from now, then there's an agreement by the company to file a base rate case proceeding with a test year, et cetera, following on that. So those are some of the other components of the settlement agreement that were important to the other parties.
Got it. Okay. That all sounds very reasonable and complex, but absolutely.
It is complex, but I think we'll get where we need to with all the parties' active participation as they've done so far. And you may want to hear from Council for Staff and UCA, making sure I've not misrepresented it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely want to do that. So let me proceed that way. Mr. Craigus, do you want to weigh in next?
To make a long story short, I don't think Mr. Davidson has misrepresented anything.
That's perfect. Excellent. No need to retread where not necessary, right? Mr. Dixon.
I would agree with Mr. Craigus and that Mr. Davidson has correctly stated. What I think you need to be aware of, you will get simply a motion to dismiss. The actual settlement will be filed in the CPCN application. So when we file the motion to dismiss, we will identify where that application, what the number is, and you would then have the ability to look at it should you choose to do so. But effectively, what we've done is eliminate the issue of whether or not a CPCN is required and agreed we will have one. And that takes care of this case. So but there will be no settlement agreement per se filed in this case.
In this case, it'll just be a motion to dismiss the petition.
Right. It'll be based on an application which by then will have been filed.
Right. And I'll tell you, I'm not sure that the CPCN would even come back to me. It would essentially be an unopposed, uncontested CPCN. So the commission may not even refer it to an ALJ. They just might sign off on it.
That would be our hope, Your Honor.
Yeah, part of our intent was to help expedite the process by doing what we're doing. Effectively, they concede they need a CPCN. We agree that the CPCN should be issued. There are a number of conditions in the settlement, but that's the basic activity.
This is an excellent, I mean, I can't commend you all enough. It's just so great that you're working together. We got it all done. Everybody got what they needed. And as you know, the commission's buried anyway. So anything we can do, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Go ahead, Mr. Davidson.
No, I have nothing else to add, Your Honor. I think you have the lay of the land here, so to speak, with respect to how we would intend to address the petition that's pending before you now and deal with the CPCN application at the same time going forward.
Okay, so I guess let me ask you this. As I understand it, I'll just wait for the motion to dismiss before I issue anything else, and then I'll just rule on that. That's all I need to do. That's all you're expecting.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's correct. We've already exchanged all the documents. I mean, it's a matter of just formalities now, getting signatures together and everybody satisfied the document said what we agreed to. And we have the documents. So it's not like we're going to start something up on that application. We'll be ready to move by probably next week without much trouble.
All right. So I'll look for it then about the end of next week or early the week after. That sounds perfect. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Davidson?
Not on behalf of the company at this time, Your Honor. Thank you for your patience here and understanding fairly complex resolution of this proceeding.
I am highly impressed, Mr. Davidson, truly.
I can't
Mr.
claim
Craig.
all the credit.
Well,
know,
everybody working together, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I would thank Mark and Brian that we were able to do this. As we discussed, it's complex, but we came up with a pretty easy solution, we think.
Yeah, this is an excellent solution. It takes care of all the moving parts, gets everybody what they need as efficiently and as reasonably as possible without the incursion of lots of costs. I think that's a win-win-win for everybody. Mr. Krikis, anything you need to add?
No, other than the caveat that staff is still reviewing the documents that were circulated yesterday. But I mean, we will, as Tom and Mark said, I think we are close, and we'll just need to get everything sort of tied up.
Right. Okay. And I guess if there's some issues that come up and something you can't resolve, just file a quick motion and I can.
I don't anticipate that being the case. I think
so.
we're at the wordsmithing stage of this now.
That should be a the, not an and. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
And thank you to Jennifer. I mentioned Brian. I didn't mention Jennifer, who also has been actively involved in this case.
Thank you, Ms. Hayden. I know you're listening in. All right, then. It sounds like this is well in hand. I will wait for the motion to dismiss and let you guys wrap everything up and wait for the documents. So thank you all for all your hard work on this, truly.
Right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. We are adjourned.
Thank you.